Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, reptoids and fish people. It's time to take a trip into the realm of insanity, where we'll discover the craziest, most ridiculous, most off-the-wall, paranoid, batshit, crazy conspiracy fruitcakes on YouTube. And remember to stay tuned and find out how to vote for the winner of this year's Illuminutti Achievement Award. Also, feel free to submit any lunacy you may find. You can send it to me on here or on Twitter with the hashtag Illuminati Achievement. Enjoy! And here we go. Our first nominee for 2017 is none other than Eric Wolfbitn Jewell with Genetically Modified Super Soldiers Attack Aleppo, Syria, Women and Children. Link in the description. Ooh, ominous music to start out with. And is somebody fapping?
Hello everybody, this is Wolfbitn and I have with me Cherie J. Hello Cherie, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing really good. And Cherie sent me a link that I found absolutely fascinating. And we're going to share this little short clip with you here in a moment. The United States apparently has a super soldier program.
Yeah, it's called SEAL training.
Not only do we have a super soldier program, but it appears that we have been using our super soldiers and our super soldier technique against Syria, and then blaming Syria for the attacks that our super soldiers are doing.
I'm dying to know where people come up with this shit or what the fuck they're smoking because, well, I want some too.
I find this just absolutely fascinating. And, I listened to this and the guy speaks with such a heavy accent that I really didn't even catch it. And what was it that he says, Cherie?
Alrighty, we're going to take another quick break to check out Wolfbitn's fancy little infographic. DARPA, the Pentagon's mad scientist wing, hopes to create the soldier of the future using high-tech mechanical developments and advanced medical technologies involving genetic engineering, biological. Soldiers will have the ability to go 40 hours without sleep and still maintain focus. They will go without rations for days by more efficiently turning body fat into energy. Injured personnel could be able to regrow severed or destroyed limbs. Well, amputees! Don't worry, it's not a big deal. Nothing to worry about. Your shit's gonna grow back. Genetically engineered super soldiers, growing shit back. You're next. Mechanical. Exoskeletons could multiply the strength of soldiers, enabling them to run for hours and carry weights far beyond what is possible unassisted. Contact lenses will transmit images from satellites and drones to soldiers on the battlefield. Helmets could enable soldiers to communicate telepathically. Really? Now, okay, telepathy now. I don't even know what to say. Nope.
How does he say it?
Genetically modified.
Yeah. And so what was your initial impression when you heard this?
That you're a fucking Fruit Loop?
Well, it shocked me that a Syrian ambassador is actually saying a genetically modified soldier exists. And he's in front of a UN microphone.
Oh, so that means it must be true, because no one would ever lie or exaggerate in front of the UN.
So, look.
And what I'm...
You told me about the story where they're saying just the opposite in the United States. It just proves the propaganda that we're being fed. And look, we can't absolutely say with 100% that this man's telling the truth. But everyone has to hear the other side of the story. When you compare what the media feeds us here with what we're hearing from ambassadors out of Syria, it'll make you think, and I can't think of any reason.
What, to believe any of that shit? Oh, wait.
Why an ambassador would say something like that if he couldn't prove that they're tampering with these soldiers' genetics.
So I just gotta know, where do these genetically modified super soldiers come from? I mean, where's this breeding program? Or are they hatched from eggs? Are they grown in like these big vats filled with like green or blue goo with the soldier in suspended animation as he grows, like in some weird sci-fi movie? Or is it like a Matrix-y type thing where women are just spend their lives hooked up to shit in these little pods and they're just impregnated over and over with super soldier embryos to grow and give birth? But nobody has ever heard of this or seen any of these facilities or works there or anything. I wonder if people like Wolfbitn and this lady wonder how fucking ridiculous this whole genetically modified super soldier thing it actually is.
Yeah, and he had a list of names evidently too, but you mentioned a story. I guess I should give the little backstory on this. The United States has been trying to bring down Bashar Assad for a few years now. And since we couldn't directly declare war on Bashar Assad to bring down his nation, he's the only one keeping the peace in Syria right now, just like Saddam Hussein was keeping the peace in Iraq, and Gaddafi was keeping the peace in Libya.
I guess Mr. Wolfbitn here seems to not pay much attention to the world news at all, because Syria is a war-torn shithole, and I guess maybe he means keeping the peace aside from all the terrorist attacks and the country being a war-torn shithole. He also needs to brush up on his recent history because, well, after we left Iraq the first time, there was the whole Shiite and Sunni conflict over there that was actually fueled by Saddam Hussein. And Libya was pretty quiet since, well, after the 80s and their terrorist issues they had then. But that's facts. We can't let facts get in the way of a good conspiracy theory, can we? Come on, guys!
Keeping everything stabilized, Bashar Assad has several groups of Muslims and Christians that all live together in peace. And apparently we've wanted to destroy that. There's other issues too. Russia sides with them to try to keep them up, to keep stability in the land. So we're also fighting a covert war against Russia by doing this.
See, Wolfbitn seems to be forgetting that any troops we have on the ground in Syria are fighting ISIS, just like Bashar Assad and Russia are doing. It's just Russia and Assad have certain agreements and certain ways that they want things done, which conflict with ours. That doesn't mean we're out there trying to undermine them or start World War III.
But we have supplied ISIS with arms and ammunition and etc., and various other guerrilla groups to go in and make war against Bashar Assad to bring him down. And these ISIS forces have taken over Aleppo a couple of years ago, and they've held Aleppo for a long time. And Russia and Bashar Assad recently did a joint campaign against Aleppo and just pounded the crap out of him. And they were killing, they've killed over 50,000 ISIS members in Aleppo alone. And they were taking such a beating that they begged for a ceasefire. So Syria and Russia agreed to a ceasefire, and they agreed to let the civilians out of Aleppo, and they sent in loads and loads of buses to let the women and children out. And as they were coming out, it was some of these very buses that these super soldiers attacked.
Citation and evidence needed, please. Also, we need evidence for super soldiers. Why would they be attacking the buses? That doesn't make any sense. And yeah, our special forces are probably over there, and they're a bunch of badasses, but I wouldn't go as far as to say they're genetically modified.
Now, Russia and Syria would not have attacked these buses that they agreed to let out. This was done by ISIS.
Wow, looks like somebody's just talking out of his ass and making shit up, because not even 30 seconds ago, he said this.
Buses to let the women and children out. And as they were coming out, it was some of these very buses that these super soldiers attacked.
Shit, this guy can't even get his conspiracy straight. 1 second it's U.S. genetically modified super soldiers, the next it's ISIS. Which one?
In order to smear Assad and Russia, we've got this big propaganda campaign going on. And the United States blamed the Syrian forces for all of the atrocities that ISIS was doing while they held Aleppo. I find this odd. And they also blamed Assad's forces for the fire bombings on these buses that the women and children were escaping Aleppo in. But let's go ahead and listen to this clip real quick.
Well, absolutely, but make sure that everybody knows that he confirms this in this clip.
Absolutely.
You're going to hear him saying exactly what you just set up people to understand.
See, what Mr. Wolfbitn seems to forget here is just because somebody says something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Well, I mean, fuck, just look at what he said in the video. You know, fucker contradicted himself immediately.
Absolutely, he does confirm this right here. And here we go, let's see what he says.
Unfortunately, some member states in the Security Council and the mainstream media continue to defend and support the genetically modified, armed Syrian opposition moderate.
Okay, so the guy makes the assertion there's genetically modified soldiers in Syria. Eric makes the leap to say they're U.S. soldiers. This guy never says that.
By definition, while turning a blind eye to the crimes committed by them, such as burning the evacuation buses yesterday. I guess you are aware of this. Continue to defend and support the genetically modified, armed Syrian opposition.
Mr. Ambassador, you named off a whole list of individuals who you claim are
nice people, yeah,
are intelligence agents from countries.
No, they are Syrian moderate opposition.
Right. Can
genetically modified.
Are they still in eastern Aleppo?
Yes. No, they are Syrian moderate opposition.
Right. Can
genetically modified.
Are they still in eastern Aleppo?
Yes.
And there you have it from his own mouth.
Well, there you have it, from his own mouth, without any evidence to support what he said. And also Eric's little text comment that he threw up on the screen about us, the U.S., funding ISIS. But he seems to forget that we're fighting ISIS. We are opposed to ISIS. Why would we be funding them and fighting them at the same time? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
He confirms and establishes that it was the ISIS forces, or the rebel forces, the forces that are funded and manned and armed by the United States that has actually performed this atrocity, and that they were super soldiers. Super soldiers were involved in this campaign, and evidently he has a list of names.
Well, let's hear those names. Let's have them. He's in front of the UN. Why wouldn't he just say the names there? Get it all out on record? Or is he just making shit up? As far as super soldiers, like I said, our special forces, those guys are pretty badass. I don't know about genetically modified, but I know they're pretty badass. I wouldn't want to fuck with them anyway.
Tracy, I just find this absolutely amazing.
Genetically modified.
Yeah, yes.
That's
genetically modified.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
his accent is very thick, but you can clearly hear him say it.
Yes, he says it 3 times. And, it's a very sad story, and it's not funny at all, but that's the reason I wanted you to say it. You say it's so funny. We need a little levity in this. It's an ugly thing that we are sponsoring in the Middle East. Ever since 9/11, millions upon millions of civilians have died because of an evil United States agenda.
Yeah, an evil United States agenda, to kill the terrorists that killed 3,000 of our civilians. Yeah, collateral damage, it sucks. It happens in war and in armed conflict. There's really nothing that can be done about it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I guess Eric is a terrorist supporter. Does Wolfbitn here support terrorism? Because that's what it sounds like. Yeah, I guess we have another terrorist apologist. Someone else who's going to defend a terrorist. That's nice. Allahu Akbar, motherfucker.
And this isn't the will of the American people. We've been hoodwinked, we've been lied to, and most of us, I want the world to know, stand absolutely against what's going on. Hence the rally to elect Trump as president. Maybe we can get some of this stuff changed.
And now we have a Trump pitch. Trump wants to kill terrorists too. Trump wants to get rid of the terrorists. He just wants to do it by cooperating with Russia, unlike Hillary just wanted to do things her way. Yeah, I think Eric really needs to start paying attention to reality and stop living in fucking loony land.
If not, we're with you, world, and we stand against the atrocities. So, Cherie, thank you so much for showing me this video, and why don't you give us a final word on this?
Well, this is just a clear-cut case of showing you the difference in what we're fed in the mainstream media and what the ambassador of Syria has to say about it. So, before you listen to this stuff, at least try to get the other side of the story and to do whatever weighing you have to do. Because people need to know that what we're hearing from our news organizations is propaganda. The end.
Amen. And if we're genetically modifying super soldiers, I think that we should ask the question, when does this genetic modification begin? Does it begin at birth? Are they an experiment? Or is there some sort of advanced technology and etc. that they can actually employ?
Can they do it to us? I think they're already trying to do some of it through the food and the water and the poisoning that we're receiving. We're all getting heavy metals in everything that we eat, everything we put on our body. But we'll go into that another day.
And so are we genetically modified? Are we being genetically modified? That's a very good question. And thank you again, Cherie, for pointing this out. And good night, everybody. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Please comment. We look forward to your comments.
Yeah, I bet you do. Or it's just a way for you to get more attention.
Let us know what you think.
And no, asshole, you're not shilling on my channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, take care, and remember, if you stumble across any batshit buffoonery, please send it to me. I welcome it all. Thanks for watching, and take care.